It's like they brought in all my friends, you know, to make it.
You know Mr. Beast, the internet's golden boy? The philanthropist who gives away islands and Lamborghinis like they're Halloween candy? Well, hold on, because the squeaky clean image of YouTube's favorite content creator might just be taking a nosedive. And it's all thanks to some explosive new allegations. Before we dive in, remember, these are just allegations, so let's not jump to conclusions, all right? But holy moly, if even half of this is true, Mr. Beast might be facing some serious fallout. Let's rewind for a second. Mr. Beast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, basically became the king of YouTube by being the guy who does the craziest, most over-the-top stunts, and then gives away truckloads of cash. I mean, who wouldn't love this guy? He's like Willy Wonka, but instead of chocolate, it's all about cold, hard cash. But as the saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and right now, Jimmy's empire might be on the verge of crumbling. So what exactly is going down?
I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show.
Enter Dogpack404, an ex-MrBeast employee turned whistleblower who's been spilling the tea all over YouTube. Dogpack dropped a video that's racking up views like crazy, and in it, he claims that MrBeast's videos aren't just a little fake, they're a whole lot fake. And that's not even the worst part. According to Dogpack, Jimmy's got some pretty shady business practices going on behind the scenes. We're talking illegal lotteries, toxic work environments, and favoritism that would make even the most conniving high school clique look like saints. First up, let's talk about the work environment over at Beast HQ.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back.
According to Jake, another former employee who came forward, the vibe there was, well, let's just say it wasn't all rainbows and $100 bills. Jake worked with MrBeast for a few years, and while he appeared in a handful of videos, he mostly felt like he was on the outside looking in.
The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it.
Jake describes the place as being divided into two camps: the Golden Squad, the people who could do no wrong in Jimmy's eyes, who got all the bonuses, screen time, and perks. Then there was the Shadow Crew, the folks who, for whatever reason, didn't vibe with Jimmy and were basically sent to the YouTube equivalent of Siberia. Disagree with him on something? Boom, you're out. Have an opinion that doesn't align with his? Forget about that bonus, pal. Now let's be real for a second. When you're running the biggest YouTube channel in the world, you've got to have a bit of control freak in you. But according to these ex-employees, MrBeast takes control freak to a whole new level.
He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively.
Jake mentions that Jimmy would go out of his way to make sure no one on his team got too famous on their own. Start a Twitch channel on the side? Nope, that's a no-go. Why? Because Jimmy didn't want anyone to get big enough to leave and potentially spill the beans on what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, who does that? It's like being held hostage by your own success. And then there's the whole issue of the videos themselves. You know, the ones where Jimmy's all like, oh my God, this crazy thing just happened. Yeah, those. According to Jake, a lot of them are about as real as Santa Claus. Take, for instance, the crushing my friend's car with a meteor video.
He wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, huh? My car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're gonna call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly. She goes, what? I'm on vacation.
Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
Well, Jake claims that not only did the people involved know exactly what was going to happen, but they were in on the act from the get-go. We're talking fake phone calls, rehearsed reactions, the whole 9 yards. And if that's true, that's a pretty big slap in the face to the millions of fans who think they're watching something spontaneous and real. But wait, it gets worse.
Every day he survives in this room, I give him $10,000.
Remember that solitary confinement challenge MrBeast did? The one where a contestant stayed in an all-white room with no concept of time, no natural light, and had to give up comforts one by one? Yeah, that one.
It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me. And it didn't go well.
Jake was the guy in that room. And let me tell you, his story is nothing short of horrifying.
But don't worry, like, you only have to last like 30, we have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's gonna be like a luxury vacation. You're gonna have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is gonna be you deciding like what items am I gonna get rid of, today, and it's like the choice.
Jake was promised a cushy stay in what was pitched as more of a luxury retreat than a psychological experiment. He'd get a hot tub, an ice cream machine, and all the comforts of home. The only catch, he had to stay there for 30 days. If he made it, he'd walk away with $300,000. Sounds pretty sweet, right? But when he got there, the reality was anything but luxurious. The room was freshly painted, so fresh in fact that the smell of paint fumes was inescapable. There was no natural light, and the lights in the room never turned off. That's right, 24/7 bright lights with no concept of day or night.
And I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good.
Ever heard of sleep deprivation? Because apparently MrBeast hadn't. After days of this madness, Jimmy decided to up the ante. He waltzed into the room at some ungodly hour, woke Jake up, and announced that the challenge for the day was to run a marathon on a treadmill. That's 26.2 miles, indoors, with no prep, in the middle of the night. Jake did it. He ran the whole damn marathon. But by the end of it, he was physically destroyed. Blisters covered his feet, his muscles were shot, and he couldn't walk.
When I got off the treadmill, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
And what did he get for his trouble? Not the $300,000 he was promised. Nope, he got a fraction of that, plus a whole lot of trauma to unpack with his therapist.
He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine?
So where does this leave us? Well, if these allegations hold water, MrBeast's squeaky clean image could be taking a serious hit. It's one thing to stage a prank for a YouTube video. It's another thing entirely to put your employees through what sounds like borderline psychological torture for the sake of content. And let's not forget the other stuff, the favoritism, the controlling behavior, the faking of videos. If it turns out that MrBeast has been pulling the wool over our eyes this whole time, there's going to be a lot of angry fans out there. As for MrBeast, he's been pretty quiet about all this. Sure, he's still pumping out videos and raking in views, but there's no denying that the pressure is on for him to address these allegations head on, because if he doesn't, his career might not just be on the line, it could be over.
But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it.
At the end of the day, MrBeast built his brand on doing good, helping people, and making the world better, one viral video at a time. But if these allegations hold any weight, it might be time for Jimmy to take a hard look at his empire. In the race for more views, money, and fame, it seems like MrBeast could be morphing into the very thing he swore he'd never become, a ruthless content creator willing to do whatever it takes to stay on top. The story's far from over, and MrBeast has some serious explaining to do. Until then, the internet's not gonna stop asking tough questions. All right, that's all for today. If you found this interesting, interesting, hit the button and subscribe for more deep dives into YouTube drama. Let me know your thoughts on these allegations. Are you surprised or did you see it coming? Stay safe and I'll catch you in the next one.